and we have Jeremy. So you show that the Independent never sleeps. It's here. Well, this is certainly our last press conference of this year, and we got a number of things to talk about. But we have one of the biggest things to talk about in the city of Pensacola at this particular time is the football championship that was brought home this weekend by our team at University of West Florida, and we could not be more excited. Now I'm going to introduce them and let them talk some about it, but I will say, those of you who had a chance to watch it, I know I couldn't, I mean, it was all over social media, everybody else was watching. It was a great game. I said, this team, nobody, if you live in Northwest Florida, nobody gives anything to you. And this team exemplified, to me, Northwest Florida as much as anything. They won 4 games on the road at very tough places. They got there and played a great game. Their offense looked like the Blue Angels. The precision of the passing was unbelievable. Looked like the Blue Angels out there. And then the defense certainly showed that Northwest Florida grit, turning away the other team, I think, 3 times deep in our territory, twice inside the 5-yard line. So it was a total team victory, and I think they just exemplified who we are in Northwest Florida. And I did have a chance, did want to call up a couple people just to talk about it and be here and let them say a couple of words. First off, Dr. Martha Saunders from UWF, our president, and certainly we wanted to give you the opportunity to brag a little bit about our biggest place. I think from the city of Pensacola, I'm always amazed. I think you lead and to greet people here at the city of Pensacola what you mean to us, what you mean to this community. So I was going to give you a chance to talk.
All right. Thank you. Well, anyone who knows me will tell you that I'm not much of a weeper. I don't cry at sad movies. I don't cry at hearing sad songs or stories. And I do appreciate nostalgic moments, but I channel that energy other ways. But on Saturday night, when I followed that football team off the plane at Pensacola Airport, my heart was so full because I knew how very long and hard the road to the championship had been for them and for our coaches and for our staff. I knew the sacrifices they had made and how very well they represented this university and this community. And then when we got there and I saw that outpouring of love and support from the community waiting for them, that crowd, that cheering crowd, well, I gotta tell you, it took my breath away. So thank you, Mayor Robinson, for being there. He was the first face we saw getting off the plane. Dan at Pensacola Airport made, I don't know how many FAA rules he broke, but we're okay with that. And music and media, and it was the kind of welcome that team very much deserved. But I also want to say that in my State of the University address this year, we talked about setting high goals. And I told the group that if you go for mediocrity, at best, mediocrity is what you're going to get. But if you set your goals ridiculously high, and even if it's a failure, you're going to fail above everybody else's success. And I encourage the university to aim higher than you think is wise and go ahead and pursue an idea that everybody thinks is crazy. Because the day before a major breakthrough, it's just a crazy idea. Magellan's trip around the globe was a crazy idea. President Kennedy's plan to get to the moon was a crazy idea. And if anybody had told us 4 years ago that our football team would be winning the national championship, breaking records every step of the way, we would have told them it's a
crazy idea.
So let's hear it for crazy ideas, and let's hear it for UWF.
Well, I will say part of what we say here in the city of Pensacola is we are Florida's first and we are Florida's future. And I think this says it this is a football crazy state, and there have been many national championships, but this year in 2019 there will only be one national championship in football that will be at the state of Florida, and it won't be, as I said, Miami or Tampa, or Orlando, or Gainesville or Tallahassee. It will be in Pensacola, Florida. So we are just as much as anybody else, any Floridians, in what we're able to do. I want to call up the man who helped make that possible, building our team here, Coach Pete Shimmick. Shimmick, please come forward.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Appreciate it. For you, a hat that was given out to all the people who were a part of this, so we appreciate your support.
I appreciate that.
National champions on the front of this.
I saw that and I was going to ask. I would love a hat like this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We're very thankful, and as Dr. Saunders said, what a reception we got when we returned home. To be able to have that type of crowd there supporting us is just really just kind of puts it all together for us. You know, in starting this program 4 years ago, Dave Scott, Dr. Benz had a vision as to what this thing could look like, and we have just kept that vision going, and under Dr. Saunders' leadership, to be here now and to have this opportunity is truly amazing. Could not be prouder of our players, our team, just what they've been able to do, to brag on them a little bit. No team has ever gone on the road and done what our team has done. In the playoffs, we were able to beat 4 undefeated teams in a row, the number 1 team in the country, the number 2 team in the country, and the number 3 team in the country. And to have that happen, really it all started here in Pensacola, because we had a dream and a goal this year, a vision to go undefeated at Blue Wahoo Stadium, something that we had never done in our history. We have been 4 years as one of the top 25 attendance teams in Division II. Our support at home has been fantastic. And we set out at the beginning of the year, said, look, we've got to put our program undefeated at home to get done what we want to get done. So it was the support here. It was the opportunity here in Pensacola for us to have that opportunity to continue to play. Excited about, obviously, what our guys have done. That game was an amazing deal. You know, Mayor, before you said you would have liked us to, score a few more touchdowns before this got started. I get it. I really, very rarely as a head coach do you sit there and go, I feel like if we can just get 50, we'll be good. Just get over 48. But to win that game in that type of style against a team that really came in with, ridiculous numbers. They were giving up 12 points a game throughout the year. So for our offense to go out and score 48 points and do it in the fashion that we did, breaking numerous records, again, couldn't be prouder of our team. Couldn't be prouder of just what Pensacola has meant to us and the support that we've had. So we appreciate it. We're very thankful. We're very grateful, and just going to enjoy this moment. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I will say,
We do have one member of the press that I would leave y'all up here, Martha, if y'all have any questions. If Jeremy has any questions, Dr. Saunders, but I was going to let him ask y'all any questions. I will say before that, if we could get one picture, Casey, with the trophy. I was a county commissioner. I was actually the chairman when we won our first professional championship with the Ice Flyers, and I got to hold up the trophy. And I remember I thought that was going to be the best moment I ever had in sports in the city of Pensacola. But now I have a new one, so I'm going to get to hold this trophy, and so I want to take a moment to do that. Casey, we'll get it.
okay. Come on in here. All right.
You got it?
I got the trophy.
Pretty heavy.
I got it.
Of course he does.
All right. Jeremy, do you have any questions?
Not so much. Congratulations.
All right.
And,
All right.
I will ask, how surprised were you, or with each game did you become a little more confident that y'all were going to do it?
I think one of the things.
Come back here.
I think one of the things that when we came here 6 years ago, which it's been a blessing to be in Pensacola for 6 years. When we came here 6 years ago, we really had the dream and the desire to not be a normal startup program. And we never really approached it with an excuse that, you know, if we lost the game, it was going to be because we were young, or because we were playing a bunch of freshmen. We knew that when we took the job. We knew that when we started it. So we have a saying: we expect to win. We're going to meet that expectation with smart, hard work, and we're going to go find a way to get it done. So we've really had that since season 1, and so. You know, in 2017, we became the fastest team in the history of the NCAA to make the playoffs in our second year. And when we did that, I told our team, I said, look, I just don't want to be the fastest team to make it to the playoffs. I want to be the fastest team to win a national championship. Well, we went close in 17. 18 didn't go as planned, but when we got here in 19, it was like, let's be the fastest team to win a national championship, which we've now accomplished that. So 2 out of the last 3 years, been to the national championship. Again, we went in with the expectation that we were going to go into every game with the opportunity to win it.
What do you see the future holds?
It's very bright. It's very bright.
Well, I want to thank you all very much for being here. Thank you so much, Coach.
Our pleasure. Thank you, Mayor.
Dr. Saunders, thank you for being here. And I say that in many, as I look here at our employees and I talk to them, I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and said they're UWF graduates, or they have participated in a graduate program at UWF. What UWF means to the city is big. What it means here at City Hall is huge. When you look at the education of many of the people who work here at City Hall, they certainly are Argos in support of the University of West Florida. So thank you for what you do. You do change lives in this place. You do make Northwest Florida a better community, a better place. And I truly think, as Coach said, I think the sky's the limit for us in Pensacola and for Northwest Florida. And I think it shows what we expect. We expect great success here in Northwest Florida, and we really appreciate what UWF does to be a part of that. Now, if you excuse me 1 second, I do have a couple of announcements of things that are going on here at the city, and I certainly want to follow up a couple of those. Derek, you want to come forward? I want to congratulate our Public Works. Our Public Works Facilities Department was recognized this month by the Florida Department of the Environmental Protection's Northwest Florida District for outstanding environmental stewardship and going above and beyond the minimum standards to reduce impacts to the environment. They received DEP's Environmental Stewardship Award for stormwater projects to improve and protect water quality with an emphasis on Bayou Chico restoration. I've got our chief city engineer here, Derek Owens, and I just want to give him a chance to recognize him and say a few words. So Derek, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor. Not moving off the football subject too quickly, I just want to say a few things about that. I coach a youth flag football team under David Wilson out at UWF. Our games, our practices are held there, and the players normally referee our games. And they are such good quality individuals. We get to know some of them, and just winners all the way around. And I just wanted to mention that. The award, like the mayor said, is something we've been striving to accomplish for the last 5 years now, I believe. And it's a very distinguished award that's for the panhandle of Florida, basically this district of DEP. And since 2000, when we implemented the stormwater utility fee, the city has been on an aggressive plan to improve water quality of our area waterways, and in that time frame we have spent almost $40 million on water quality projects citywide. So proof is in the pudding, if you will, and so we with that aggressive program, we are receiving these awards, receiving these acknowledgments from the work that we've put in, and we plan to continue doing that going forward.
Jeremy, if you have any questions for us on that, I was going to open. Thank you very much. I am extremely proud of the city of Pensacola and the workers we have. The only thing I'm going to say is, Derek, I need to talk to Coach Shinnick. We want to get that done in 4 years, but 5 years is good. That's fine. So we got that done in 5 years. So, but we're working hard. All right. I did want to say a couple things that are going on. Cedric Alexander, who is a Pensacola native, who has returned back to Pensacola. He is serving on the ECUA board as District 3 representative. He was just nominated that by the governor. Very well known in law enforcement, very well respected in law enforcement, has been involved with law enforcement with many major cities. An African American gentleman who's been a chief and leader in many cities of their police forces and even their administrations. So he comes with a wealth of knowledge, a number of best-selling books about things and looking at what's going on with today's policing. I want to let you know that we have just last week entered into an agreement with Mr. Alexander that he will be working with us for about for a set number of hours. We're still working that through what those hours would be, but we are going to be consulting with him both to do some training to deal with the looking at the sort of the Citizen Advisory Committee coming forward, and also looking at some things that we as we pursue forward. Looking at how we're organized at the Pensacola Police Department. I can tell you that Chief Leiter, I've talked to Captain Davis, several of the other captains, they're very impressed. Captain Mallett, I think he came here and provided training for us years ago, and some of those captains told me they were in the training and were extremely impressed by what he brought to the table and knowledge he has of law enforcement, and especially dealing with law enforcement and some of the challenges in making sure that we are a true community asset in every neighborhood of the city. So I am, when I've met with Mr. Alexander, I've been extremely impressed by what he brings and his knowledge of law enforcement, and I think we have a lot to learn from him, and I'm confident that he will make us a better police force, and we are looking forward to working with him. There are a couple other things I want to talk about. Our cyber attack notifications. We are working on making an official notification to active employees, pensioners, active customers, and housing clients about the potential data breach from the cybersecurity attack. Again, we will be offering some type of identity protection services for those individuals for a 12-month period. At this particular time, we don't know of any data of our sensitive data that got out, but we do know that there is some data that was acquired by the people that hacked us. And unfortunately, at this particular time, we thought it was the most prudent idea to protect those that were most important to us. I made that decision and believed that simply doing the right thing to protect those who are most important, even though we don't have any direct evidence that those individual names or any way were threatened. But at the same time, we do know there was loss of some data. So at this point, we certainly are working within that. We will be notifying all those individuals, and we will be offering that identity protection. Although we still do not have confirmation any data was taken, we feel like this is the right thing to do. So this is taken out of an abundance of caution. It will be about 60,000 individuals. The money will come out of a self-insurance fund. That's why we have those funds. We certainly have our reserve. And again, that will be things that we'll be doing related to cybersecurity. Holiday closures. City of Pensacola offices and facilities will be closed on Wednesday, December 25th and Thursday, December 26th. And we will be closing at noon tomorrow on December 24th. Also on Wednesday, January 1st, we'll be closed, as well as we'll be closing at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock on the 31st of January. So there will be no changes this year in sanitation pickups. Everything you're recycling was today or garbage today. It'll be the same way because it's Wednesday. So if you're Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday of this week or next week, you will be the same thing. Now, please know that sanitation services will be changing, and I want to get that out to as many people. I hope you're looking at this, and we get as many people reminding this. If you live in the city of Pensacola, we will be having sanitation changes beginning January 6th. On that time, whatever is your garbage day, if your garbage day is Monday, if your garbage day is Tuesday, Thursday, those will be the days that you will have garbage picked up and your recycling, both picked up on the same day. If your garbage is on Friday, you will now have garbage and recycling picked up on Wednesday. So again, all your normal garbage day will be the day at which you normally will now have your recycling and your garbage picked up. So again, those changes will begin on the 6th of January. And we ask you to please remember that, and we will certainly be working with you. We think this will help us be more efficient, but we want to remind you that that's happening. No other changes for the next 2 weeks, but after that, we will have that change. Also, to remember that if you have recyclables, if you have packaging for anything that you get, or even after, if you have recyclables after Christmas and you have boxes and things that need to go, please take those to the Recycling Center off of Summit, where that will continue to be open through the first of the year. I guess the weekend after the first of the year, we will be closing that and removing those. But we will allow you, if you have recyclable stuff, please take it up there and recycle it. That way, if you can't fill it all in your recyclable bin, we want to give you an opportunity to dispose of those cardboard boxes. And again, this is not a dumping facility. This is only for recyclables. Again, I think for the most part, we've been responsible. I've been up there a couple of times. I've had packages come in, and I've taken stuff up myself, and I've been impressed that we have been responsible up there, and I want us to continue to do that. But that recycling center will continue to be up there. It's next to the old Fire Station 3 on Summit Boulevard. Finally, our residential satisfaction survey deadline is extended. Don't forget, for city residents, you have now until Friday, January 10th, to give feedback. Again, this is independent. It does not connect in any way with the city, so you're not going to get. There was a lot of concern about. I know people worried about what was happening with the city's computers. This is with UWF, and again, it's another partnership that shows what UWF means to our community. We really appreciate UWF working with us on this survey. If you haven't done it, please go to visit uwf.edu/HOS resident survey, and we ask that you take that and complete that. Last thing, we will not have a press conference next week. We will be off, but we will be back on January 6th, and we look forward to seeing you there, and I'm sure Dave will be back here from WUWF. He does a good job, and we'll have some of our other press there. Jeremy, if anybody else has any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions. But otherwise, we certainly we wish all of you out there a Merry Christmas. Also remember that yesterday we had a great time lighting the menorah. Also a Happy Hanukkah. Hanukkah started yesterday, so if all of our residents out there, we wish you a happy holidays, a Happy Hanukkah or a Merry Christmas, and we look forward to seeing you in the first of the new year.
Back to the cyber attack.
Yes.
Can you kind of go over that again and explain that? So who is getting cyber protection? What kind of cyber protection, and why exactly?
We are giving cyber protection to those active employees, pensioners, active customers of Pensacola Energy and the City of Pensacola, and housing clients.
So pretty much everybody in the city.
Active people, correct. It's about 60,000.
Which includes citizens.
Correct, but not all citizens. If you don't pay your stuff online, there are some people that if you don't have stuff that you deal online with us, there is the potential you could be a city resident and not doing this. So I can't say it's all citizens, but it's about 60,000 people, which is close to the size of the city of Pensacola.
And so what are you offering them?
We'll be offering them some type of identification protection services for 12 months. It'll be like you name whatever it is that does identity protection. Yeah, those kind of things.
And so why did y'all decide to do this?
Why do we decide to do it? Because it's the right thing to do for an abundance of caution. I mean, we don't want anybody to feel like that there's something unsafe here with the City of Pensacola. We believe that those things weren't broken into, but we won't know that for a couple more weeks. We do know that some information was obtained by the individuals, and once we got confirmation of that, we talked with our people that we're working with up there, Deloitte and Touche, and we kind of went through some scenarios, and we just simply believed, while we can't say that it has happened, it's one of those things that we felt was the more important way was to be. These are our most important people, our employees, our active customers, our pensioners, and our housing clients. We felt like we needed to protect them.
So can you kind of clarify? You said that you weren't sure that any data had been compromised, but then you said
we weren't sure that any on individuals has been there, but we do know that they have obtained data. We talked with Deloitte and Touche. They made those confirmations to us. At that point, we looked at it, and I simply said, it's the right thing to do.
Have the individuals that are responsible for this presented y'all with any, data that they have to say, here we have data?
We were able to obtain.
It's an investigation.
We were able to understand that there was some data related from Deloitte and Touche.
Okay. How's the investigation going?
As far as we know, it's still pursuing. and Deloitte and Touche will be there continuing to audit us and what was going on. But again, it will be weeks before we know for sure. And we felt it was we needed to protect people within this time. Certainly, we don't want anybody to feel like there's something unsafe happening at the City of Pensacola or that their information is unsafe. So we felt like we needed to pursue an action, and I just felt like it was the right thing to do. I mean, technically, we could have waited, Jeremy. It wasn't something that we had to go do, but I thought it was the right thing to do. And I said, you know, again, this is what you have reserves for, and I'd rather do the right thing than sit around and say, well, we did the legal thing, but something happened to somebody's information.
Any cost estimate?
I think about somewhere between $150,000 and $180,000.
And then, I mean, has there been any movement on the ransom front, or can you talk about that?
At this particular time, we've done nothing related to the ransom. We have restored our computers. We're back up in line and running. And while we don't believe any of that sensitive information has been taken, we can't say that definitively at this particular time. And we felt like it was the right decision for us to make.
And any progress on cyber insurance?
We are pursuing that. We have a new individual, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who started. A really good guy, knows what he's doing, came from the Diocese of Lafayette over in Louisiana. He knows about this. You know, we were simply waiting for him to get on board, and we will be looking at that. Again, the cyber insurance would help us deal with some of these costs that we're dealing with afterwards. It would not help us necessarily dealing with the actual attack. I want to say our people did a fairly good job in all this process of getting done what needed to be. We had, one of the things I want to say, UWF was incredibly, they're a leader in cyber security, and they were here meeting with us shortly after it happened and went through a lot of our procedures and telling us what could be done. We would have loved to engage with them. As they said, they were here to educate and work with us, but they didn't necessarily do audits and compete with private sector. But they were very helpful in getting us pointed in the right direction. I can't thank UWF enough for that and what they did and came in here and sat down with our staff. And they said a lot of the things we did were right, exactly. I mean, we were able to, in essence, not miss anything because of what could have been encoded. So from that standpoint, we did everything we were supposed to. Our systems backed up and we moved forward. We just don't know on the other side what we may have lost, if we lost anything. We do know, again, there were things that were confirmed that we knew we had some data that was lost, but none of it was necessarily that we know what was lost was sensitive data. But we simply felt, out of an abundance of caution, it was the right thing to do to ensure all of our people.
Now that you're back up and running, do you feel like measures have been taken to make the city more secure?
I mean, certainly we've done some things, but we haven't gotten, that's one of the reasons we've got the audit. And I think this is an ever-going process. You got to stay one step ahead of the bad guys. You know, I told somebody else, you know, it used to be in the 18th century that the pirates had ships and they sailed the Caribbean. Now they sit there in cybersecurity and they ransom you for, you know, they take your stuff and then hold you hostage. So again, you know, you got to stay one step ahead of them at all the time. So for us, it's good working with the university. This is some of the great things about having a university in your community that you can work with. We need to continually. We will never be finished at cybersecurity. We will always need to be improving, and we're looking forward to getting back this audit from Deloitte and Touche and continuing to work with the people at UWF. Well, thank you very much. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everybody, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year.